All right. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great week so far. It was nice having a little extra day attached to the weekend this week. But super pumped up for today's session. This is our last and final session of the series called "I Need Business Right Now." Week one, just to give you a little recap, we talked about what to do in the next 24 hours to when business is slow to get business like almost immediately. That was week one. Week two. Dixie took us a little deeper into how to work the relationships that you already have to generate business in the next 30 days. Corey talked about how to expand your reach and get in front of brand new people fast without having a big budget or a complicated strategy. And then today, I'm going to kind of bring it all together and we're going to talk about what do you do when your pipeline is dry and how to never, ever, ever have a dry pipeline ever again. So we've got some specific tactics. I'm super excited to share some of the stuff with you. Now, I've been doing this probably longer than some of you have been living. Um, been doing this probably, I don't know if anyone's done real estate mortgage lending longer than I have that's here in this room. I've done it for a long time. But I will be very blunt in telling you, I have looked at my pipeline before and thought, how are we going to buy groceries next month? I don't know if anyone else has been there before or not, but now that's been a long time ago because I've been blessed to have some great mentors and coaches in my life for the last decade and a half that have prevented that from occurring ever again. But it is very normal. And I'm thinking some of you may resonate with this. It is very normal in your business as a realtor and in the life of a loan officer too. It's very normal to live life like a roller coaster with your income. And I don't know if anyone else has ever seen that before, but I very well remember years ago I would have an amazing month. And I'm thinking, I'm making the salary like a major league baseball player. Like I've hit it. I'm on top of the world. And then if you know anything about me, you also know I can't keep a dollar in my wallet. I like to spend money. Right. So when I was thinking that I'm making major league baseball kind of income, I'm spending money like I was making major league baseball kind of income. And that creates a problem. It creates problems really, really, really quick. Because if you're not doing some things consistently, what you will find and what you may have seen before when I said roller coaster income, you have a really, really, really solid month, really great month, and then all of a sudden the bottom falls out. Is this anything anyone here has resonated with except just is it just me? Or have you seen it too? Like you can have a really good month, then a bad month. And this was my career for about 10 to 15 years of living life like that, like up and down, up and down, up and down. And when you're a spender like me, that's not a good recipe for long-term success ever. So there's some things that we all need to work in changing so that we don't have a bunch of up and downs in income. So I'm going to give you some specific tactics, but I will tell you, and I just want to say first, a slow pipeline, and if you don't get anything else, please understand this. A slow pipeline, I promise you, is not a market problem. A slow pipeline is a habit problem. And the faster you get to understanding that piece, the faster you get to understanding success. And I promise you, I can't blame President Trump, President Biden, President Obama, President Bush. I can't blame whoever the Fed chairman is. None of whatever they do and whatever they decide, it it can't be what's controlling my income. What's controlling my income is all related to me and my activity and my mindset and God having a good bit of control over all of that stuff too. But it has zero to do with the market, has zero to do with interest rates. I promise you. Has zero to do with whatever kind of excuse you want to bring it up and say this is the reason. It all has to do with usually one thing, and that's consistency. So what we're going to go through today, if you put some of these things in practice, I can almost 100% guarantee you, you will not experience a dry pipeline ever again. Can you have some little maybe off months? Yeah, I have an off month here and there, but when it's off, it's not no closings. It means maybe just down a loan or two for the month. That's really kind of it. That's kind of an off month now. All right. So it's a whole lot better. So it's not a market problem. It is a habit problem. That's good news. Here's what I will tell you that I see this happen with me when I was having those roller coaster months. And this is what I see with influencers too. It's a feast or famine cycle. And when you're feasting, agents tend to stop doing one thing. We stop prospecting when you get busy. I want you to think about it for just a minute. When you have 3 deals under contract, maybe a couple of listings that are active, your telephone is ringing, the last thing doing is making more prospecting calls. I can 100% guarantee it. Everybody here suffers with the same thing, and I do too. So you're slammed. You're mentally telling yourself, I'll get back to it when things slow down a little bit. And then things slow down, and now you're starting at zero again. The agents who never have a slow month, they're not luckier than you. They're not in a better market. They're not more talented. They're simply more consistent. And that's a hard truth I had to swallow as a loan officer a while back. But when I started getting exposed to other loan officers around the country that were absolutely killing it and crushing it, I had to look in the mirror and figure out what's different with them and me. We're both working with the same interest rates. We're both working with the same president. We're both working with the same economy. Yet they're doing this and I'm doing this. It's one person and it was me. The difference between them and me is they're more consistent with prospecting. They prospect every single day, regardless of how busy they are. So if you're slow, you prospect. If you're busy, you prospect. It doesn't matter. And they don't do it because they love it. They do it because they understand that what they're prospecting for today is going to be next quarter's pipeline. Consistency is a choice, and you can start making it a choice today and start choosing the right thing. So I want to give you some specific tactics on being consistent and things you have to do every single day. All right. So there's 3. If you have pen and paper, I want you to write some of the stuff down. 3 daily non-negotiables for salespeople. I think sometimes we have to define what is a non-negotiable. A non-negotiable means I'm going to do this every single day, period. End of story. That's a non-negotiable, right? I mean, we should have some non-negotiables in our faith. We should have some in our relationships, our health. Um, it took me a long time to get to a non-negotiable of I'm going to exercise every single day. But now it's a non-negotiable. It took a while for me to say, hey, I'm going to have a quiet time with God every day, but now it's a non-negotiable. I have to. It's just like brushing my teeth and eating. I'm going to do it. I have to do it. Prospecting has to be that way too. So I'm going to give you 3 non-negotiables, and non-negotiable number 1 is this: 5 meaningful conversations every day. Now, let's define a meaningful conversation. Thank you for being in my life. Is that a meaningful conversation? It's nice. It's a nice statement, but is that a meaningful conversation? No, because it's not two way. Is it nice to get a text every once in a while saying, I'm grateful that you're in my life? Yes. And that's something we should probably do more often, but that doesn't count as a meaningful conversation. You have to have 5 meaningful conversations a day. What it also is not, it's not a social media comment. It's 5 real conversations with real people about real estate or about their life in a way that keeps you top of mind. So, the sample of 5 people that you could call, it could be a past client, it could be a sphere contact, it could be maybe a new connection. I know we all here love cold calling quite a bit. If you got to like cold calling, it would probably add a 0 or 2 zeros at the end of your income. I promise. But new connections, calling business owners, calling people that are going through transitions, like getting married, having a baby, getting a divorce. Maybe they lost a loved one. These are real meaningful conversations that are there. So 5 per day, that's it. So I want you to think about the math on this. 5 conversations a day is 25 a week, assuming you're taking a couple of days off a week. 25 a week. That's 100 per month. That's 1,200 per year. And if even 2% of those conversations turn into a transaction, 2% of 1,200, that's 24 deals a year from one daily simple habit. Like 24 deals a year would change most of his life if you could add 24 deals a year to what you're already are doing. Like that's a lot of money. I think what the average commission is around 6 grand, maybe 6, 7 grand transaction. Take 6 or 7 times 24. Sounds like about 150 to $200,000 of income. 5 conversations a day. All right. So that's non-negotiable number one. Non-negotiable number two. One piece of value-driven content every single day. Now, this is not a sales piece. It's not a rate update nobody asked for. It's one piece of content that demonstrates your expertise and keeps you visible to your sphere. So it might be a market update. Dixie talked about this, I believe, a week or so ago, doing like a neighborhood highlight. Maybe a client success story that you're sharing. Those are great. You know why? Think about this. In the Bible, when Jesus is teaching, what does he always use? Something called parables, stories. Why? Because it helps people resonate and connect with you better. Think of the people that you have helped in your life. And maybe you're thinking, well, I haven't had a closing in 3 months. Okay. You've had a closing maybe at some point in your career. Go back and pick a closing out. Share the story of how they came to you, maybe how they were referred to you, of maybe the adversity they had to go through to get to the other side of buying a home. Share a success story. And I think we all have those that we can share. All right. So it could be a tip maybe for a homeowner, but something that makes the person who sees it think that agent knows their stuff. Okay? You don't have to go viral with it. You just need to show up consistently so that when someone in your sphere thinks about real estate, your face is the first one they see. So I do think this is a social media type content, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and probably honestly all three. But showing up, sharing content, and you need to do this every day, once a day. Now, the temptation for me when I put something on Facebook is to start scrolling. And I can lose a whole lot of valuable time in doing some stupid stuff. Okay. So get your post done and get off. All right. So, number one, 5 calls a day, meaningful conversations a day. Number two, post one piece of value driven content every day. Number three, one personal follow up every single day. So, what does this look like? And how is it different than 5 meaningful conversations? This is it. Go back through your pipeline. And when I say your pipeline, I mean go back through your leads that haven't done anything yet. Maybe people in the past that inquired about a listing or potentially buying. Maybe go back through your recent closings and send one personal follow up message or make a phone call every day, not a mass email, but one individual personal message to one specific person. For example, hey, Laura, I was thinking about you today. How is everything going with the home? Hey, Mitch, we talked a few months back about buying. I just want to check in to see if anything had changed. But one message, one person every day. This is a super, super, super simple 3 non-negotiables, 5 conversations, one piece of content, one personal follow up. And let me tell you how quickly this is. How much time does this take out of your day? 30 minutes. That's it. You can get all 3 of those things done in a 30-minute time span if you're disciplined about it. All right. So let me give you the 30-minute prospecting system. And this is honestly where I think a lot of salespeople fall apart, even when they know that they should be doing it. They sit down to prospect, they don't know where to start. They look at their database, they feel overwhelmed. They may pick up the phone, they put it back down. They spend 20 minutes trying to figure out who to call and then end up doing something else entirely different. It's not a motivation problem, it's a system problem. So I'm going to give you a system that fixes all of the stuff. So every morning before you check your email, before you look at social media, before you do anything else, you do your 30-minute prospecting block. And here's exactly how those 30 minutes are structured. I'm giving you minute to minute almost. So, minute 1 to 5, the first 5 minutes is preparing. Pull up your database. Don't get too selective. Just identify the 5 people you're going to call today and the one person you're going to send a personal follow up to. Write their names down. Don't skip the step. Just write their names down. Decision fatigue absolutely kills prospecting. Decision fatigue will also kill a career. Don't get too caught up in trying to make a decision. Just pick 5 people. Make the decisions before you start. So when minute 6 arrives, you're dialing the phone. All right. So the first 5 minutes, pick your 5 people you're calling, pick the one person um, you're going to send a personal follow up to. Minute 6 to 20, that's 15 minutes, 5 conversations. Make your 5 calls. If they don't answer, leave a meaningful voicemail. If they don't answer, a short, warm, personal one, not a sales pitch. If someone does answer and the conversation runs long, that's a good problem. Just pick up where you left off tomorrow. Okay. You can't get every conversation done in 3 minutes. Now, I can get a good conversation done in probably about 3 minutes and feel good about it and sign off and roll on. But use common sense. If someone's sharing a heartwarming story with you or sharing how their spouse has died of cancer, you probably don't want to sign off in 3 minutes. Use some common sense and roll with what you have. All right. But I typically find in 15 minutes, 2 of the 5 people probably aren't going to answer the telephone. Now I've got 3 other people I can have 5-minute conversations with. Okay. Doesn't always work out like that, but 5 a day. That's all you need to do. So, quick review. First 5 minutes, pick your 5 people, one personal follow up. Minute 6 to 20, have your 5 conversations. Minute 21 to 25, post your one piece of value driven content. This might already be drafted. Just think about your prospecting block and put something together. Real quick tip on this: ChatGPT and Claude are great friends in writing content for you. Just get help. But I will tell you, don't rely on it 100% because people love stories, which I was talking about a minute ago. Use stories in your content a lot of how someone, you can change the names for privacy, but write stories of how someone was referred to you. Now you're telling people how you like to be referred, and use stories and specific samples of people that went through a certain, maybe came across a certain hurdle to get from point A to point B and how you help them. People resonate with that. All right. So minutes 21 to 25, write content. Minute 26 to 30, this is your personal follow up time. Send your personal follow up message. Make it specific, make it human, make it about them, not you. That's the system. And if you do it at 8:30, you're probably done by 9 every day. The agents who run the system don't have slow months. And it's not because the market is kinder to them. It's because they always have a pipeline that is being fed. Okay. You have to feed your pipeline. Now, all of that stuff that I just gave you is super important. But I want to tell you, there was one more thing more important to consistency in my career that took me over the top of where I could imagine. That one word starts with an A. It's accountability. And it's finding the right person that loves you enough to really, really hold your feet to the fire to do the one thing that you need to do every day, which is prospect. Okay. For me, I had to pay somebody to be my accountability partner. And I gave them my credit card so that when I didn't do the things I was supposed to do, they would use my credit card to make donations to charity. Little way for me to get punished. All right. There was one time back in an election year, I'm not going to go into a lot of politics, but my accountability partner said, if you don't do the stuff you want to do, we're going to donate $500 to the other party. Like, oh no, heck no. I will do whatever it takes because I'm not doing that. Right. So accountability works. We let people off the hook way too easy. Way, way too easy. My accountability partner that I was paying, it didn't matter what excuse I could come up with. The prospecting was getting done. Period. End of story. That's the type of accountability that you guys need. And it's what I needed. And it's the one thing that I promise you will get this embedded into you as a habit of making prospecting the first priority of your workday every single day. So you need one person. And all it takes is that one person asking you every single morning, did you get it done? Did you get it done? You said it's important. Are you going to do it? Or maybe you give that person that you trust a credit card or debit card and they know they can punish you. I'm just saying that worked for me. So accountability, it's the one thing that will take you over the top in what you're doing. All right. So the last piece, this one is a game changer that almost nobody does, but I want you to think about this too, and then we'll close. Your pipeline, I want you to imagine your pipeline. Maybe pick one person out in your pipeline. All right. We just had a recent closing, and I'm just going to call, you won't know him, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown closed last month. Little snowball. Think of it as a little snowball. If we treat Mr. Brown right, and when I say right, I don't mean we closed him on time. He expected that. We gave him a good rate. That's not right. He expected that. His closing costs were pretty close to what we estimated. That's not great. He expected that. If we give him white glove service above and far beyond anything that he was expecting, we can take that little snowball and turn it into a roaring avalanche of more business. Okay. Mr. Brown referred us yesterday to someone that is going to be buying a home. Snowball starts to expand. So, what you have to do is when you have people in your pipeline, one amazing way to make sure your pipeline never ever runs dry ever again, you can't just give people what they expect from you and anticipate that they're going to become raving fans of your business. No, they expect you to communicate. They expect you maybe to market their home. They expect you to do these, whatever it is, name whatever it is real estate agents should do. They expect it. What are you doing above and beyond? And then are you asking and letting them know after the fact too, hey, you were an amazing client, but I have a problem. You just closed. I need another one of you, right? Like, are we asking for the business? But we have to earn the right to ask. And if we're just giving them what they're expecting, that's not earning the right. Now, it's been a long time since my wife and I bought a home for us as a primary residence, like 20 plus years. But I will tell you, it was not at all anywhere close to an amazing experience. We brought the home to the realtor that we wanted to buy. We said, this is what we're looking for. They didn't give us any communication on what was going on with any of the back parts of the home. It was not, but they thought they were doing a great job. Expectations are not a great job. Above and beyond is. So if you have someone in your pipeline right now, what are some things you can do to create a raving fan? And one book I would highly recommend, and you can read it literally in less than an hour, is the book called Raving Fans. Maybe if you own it, it's been a while, pull it back out and figure out what do you need to do to your client process to create raving fans 100% of the time. So it is 10:30. Thank you all for being here. Thank you so much for being part of our boot camp today. Hope you have a great Wednesday. See ya.